Hello folks, this is Bubba, the Jewish Redneck Prepper. Today I'm with you out here on the back roads here in Georgia, right outside of Tyrone, Georgia, on an urban exploration. What this is, a little bit of history of urban exploration. This is a back road, gravel road, taken care of, I think by Wilkes County, maybe even state funds. But this is a Revolutionary War battlefield that we're on. A lot of people think of Georgia, mostly they always think of Civil War. But a lot of people don't even know that Georgia was one of the original 13 colonies, set up as a penal colony, but nevertheless still a colony. And a lot of your major battles were fought here in Georgia. Where we're in, right outside of Tyrone, Georgia, at a place called Kettle Creek. There was a settlement here one time, and this was the Battle of Kettle Creek during the Revolutionary War. Here we got a sign right out here of Kettle Creek Battlefield, right here. And it says the war comes to Kettle Creek. In 1778, the British leadership conceived a plan to end the Revolutionary War through a campaign to conquer the southern colonies. Plan implementation began at the capture of Savannah, Georgia on December 29, 1778, and subsequent capture of Augusta on January 29, 1779. American loyalists to the crown left Savannah for Augusta and moved through the western Carolinas seeking to recruit Americans to serve in militia units loyal to King George I. A loyal force led by Colonel John Boyd crossed the Savannah River into present-day Elbert County, Georgia, and defeated patriots at Van Creek on February 11, 1779. They expected to find loyalist support as they moved toward Augusta for union with the British force there. On the morning of February 14, 1779, patriot militiamen from Georgia and South Carolina, commanded by Colonel Andrew Pickens, caught up with Boyd on land owned by James Hammett, where the loyalists, according to Pickens, killed a beef. Subsequently, the Battle of Kettle Creek began between Hammett's home site and Kettle Creek. Approximately 700 loyalists were involved, and they were opposed by approximately 350 patriots, all of which were mounted on horseback. And here's the layout of the battlefield. This is the settlement road, Pickens at the settlement village, Liberty Church Cemetery, possible home sites, settlement trail, Hammett Homestead, Hammett Trail, 1779, Kettle Creek, Carlton Branch, New Salem Church Road. And here shows that we are here, right here. And this is the Summit Trail and the War Hill and all of that. And that's where Clark was at, Pickens and Dooley. And right here, here's the trail right over here of the layout to Summit's Hill. And it's Summit Trail. So we'll go up there a piece and walk this trail just a little bit and see this old trail. You know, back then, probably this was nothing but old trails and everything. Like its namesake, it's given forth a hill. And look at all these wild muscadines growing everywhere. Right here. And this trail is just winding up and down through there. So if I was by myself, I wouldn't mind walking these trails here. And here's another thing for your survivalists and preppers that would be looking for places to escape. This is a place here, the Battle of Kettle Creek, a Revolutionary War site. Not too many people know about this place out here. Been knowing about it for years. And this is actually my first time actually visiting here. And here's the old road leading down back up here. And there's ye old Summit Trail. All of these is part of the Kettle Creek battlefield that took place here during the Revolutionary War. There's the sign right here of Settlement Road. So the old village should be down through there somewhere. Mama, let's go down a little piece further and see what's on down further, what else it has to offer. Kettle Creek battlefield, Revolutionary War. It's got the layout of the battle. It gives the brief history back there on that sign.
I think berries in that bunch.
What kind of berries is that?
I think they're sugar berries.
Sugar berries?
Or sweet berries.
Sweet berries.
Some kind of berries I don't think they're ripe yet.
Right. There was a settlement and a village out here, according to the map back there. It was going down here, and the man, what it was British colonists that was loyal to the crown, fought down through here. You know what I'm saying? And what do we got here? I don't think that's what's leading up to somebody's house, is it?
Don't know.
What does that sign say here? It says the Loop Trail.
Kettle
This is
Creek
War
Chapter.
Hill. And which one is that? That's the War Hill Loop. That, let me get out and get a back closer look here. Folks, this is all the laid out battlefield all down through this hill. And this is the War Hill Loop Trail that marked back down there on the plans. And this is telling something about breaking the law. Don't break the law. Don't mess up anything here. This old battlefield. This old battlefield is taken care of by the Wilkes County Federation. It says Battle Creek Chapter Bar. And I love this old, says Washington Wilkes Historical Foundation. So these are the people that take care of this place. It says Kettle Creek on this monument, Revolutionary Battleground, Revolution, February the 14th, 1779. Here's the War Hill Loop Trail. Goes on down through here. Let's see what this marker has to say right down here. And I could see them trying to battle up this hill. This is a steep hill right here. Let's see what we got right here. It says the Kettle Creek Battlefield, War Hill Loop Trail. It shows the battlefield, settlement ridge, possible home sites. It says Kelly Branch, Hammett Homestead. That would be Kelly Branch right down through there. Don't even look like there's any water flowing down through there anymore. But it says Kettle Creek and Carlton Branch run together. And somehow they run in over to Kelly Branch. It has the Hammett Homestead down through here, Hammett Trail. And it shows you the different positions of the battles and the leaders where they were at during the position. It says Clark's attack right here. It says the Battle of Kettle Creek began south of the Hammett farmstead, according to the Patriot Colonel Pickens' Patriot militia, which had been following them for several days, were deployed by Pickens in 3 formations and advanced southward on an unsuspected enemy. Lieutenant Colonel Elijah Clark's easternmost of the Patriots' formation passed through this immediate area to attack Loyalist Major Spurgeon's formation. According to Pickens, the retreating Loyalists formed across the creek on rising ground, where the action was renewed more obstinately. Dooley says it appeared to him that they fired over 200 guns at us in half a minute, but withstanding they had at least 700 men, we drove the villains and beat them in a fair fight. It was the severest check in the chastisement the Tories ever received in South Carolina or Georgia, wrote Colonel Pickens in 1811. Reports following the battle indicated that approximately 20 Loyalists was killed, about 150 were taken prisoner, and about 250 escaped to Augusta. 7 of the prisoners were eventually tried and hanged. Patriot losses were 7 killed and 15 wounded. A letter of Colonel Dooley, written 2 days after the battle, concludes, "I am sure that it must be nothing but the hand of Providence that saved Colonel Pickens, Colonel Clark, and myself from being wild or badly wounded, as we were much exposed on horseback during the whole engagement." The Patriot victory at Kettle Creek prevented the British from dominating the colony of Georgia. Folks, this is heritage right here. And when we fought the British, the bloody British here in Georgia, this kind of makes me honored to come to this old battlefield that fought for our freedoms to form the new nation of the United States of America. And that's the old road leading up here into this old battlefield. So let's go on up here further on top of the hill and see what this battlefield park offers us here. Again, folks, this is the Kettle Creek battlefield, Revolutionary War battlefield. And this is just right around the corner from our home, not too far out of Sparta, Georgia. We got old monuments on here on top of this old hill. Mama, did you ever know this place was back here?
I didn't know it was all back here, no.
Well, I knew.
I've heard about it, but I never knew it was all back
I knew it was back here, but I never came back here. They give a place to kind of like park up here and have like a little picnic area and everything. Alright, let me get this area and you get ready to turn around. This place can't hold a lot of visitors at one time though, can it? Here's another sign of Kettle Creek Battlefield, War Hill. And here you are right here. Summit Trail, War Hill, Troop Loop. And right here it says the overview of the battle. Following the decision by British Crown to end the revolution in America by recruiting support from the southern backcountry, Loyalist Colonel John Boyd was successfully moving a force of 700 men from the Carolinas through Georgia until he reached the Kettle Creek area on his route to Augusta. Here Patriot militias were organized. Colonel Andrew Pickens from South Carolina, Colonel John Dooley, and Lieutenant Colonel Elijah Clark of Wilkes County. Pickens commanded the center and probably advanced along a north-south trail that led by Hammett Homesite and then on to Kettle Creek to connect with what is now called New Salem Church Road. As they moved southward, Dooley commanded the Patriots on the west and Clark led the Patriots on the left, east. According to Pickens' account of the battle, my advance fired on them, which gave the alarm. Loyalist Colonel John Boyd was mortally wounded early in the fighting, and his loss contributed to the breakdown of order among his men. Even though Loyalists had more men in the battle, they were divided on the field, thus the smaller Patriot force was able to win the day. Clark's 40 Patriot militiamen on the left crossed Kettle Creek and engaged the Loyalists. With continuing disorganization, some 270 Loyalists made their escape via which is now New Salem Church Road. Of the original 700 loyalists, others met various fates. According to Dooley's account, the battle ended after at least 3 of ours constant firing. Kettle Creek battlefield. This is the war hill, folks, of the Revolutionary War. Folks, if you're ever down here in Georgia and you're down here in the Wilkes County area, there's a lot of history. And this is where the Bridget Hammett Farm was, right here in this general area. And what does it offer here? It offers some pamphlets here of the Battle of Kettle Creek. And it's pamphlets I'm going to take. Here's some copies of them, showing them what it looks like. I'm going to go over here and check this old graveyard. And it looks like this is probably where they may have been buried at. It's got some Travis McClendon, U.S. Army, Revolutionary War, 1758-1835. Jacobs McClendon, U.S. Army, 1715 to 1793. Must have died in the battle here. Folks, I'm not going to go all over this place and get all the people that died here in this cemetery. But there's the different people that fought here in this battle here. There's another state marker that's honoring the battle here, the man that fought here at the Battle of Kettle Creek here in Georgia. There's just some of the memoriam to John Shank, 1761 to 1835, Revolutionary War soldier in the command of General George Rogers Clark. Captain James Cartledge, 1st Battalion, Richmond County Militia, 1755 to 1845, Minute Man under Colonel Elijah Clark. All these revolutionary heroes and soldiers that fought in the battle, Kettle Creek. This marker is basically saying, I'm not going to go through all the names, but it says the patriots whose name on this marker are those who have been proved to have participated in the Battle of Kettle Creek, February the 14th, 1879. Many brands fought on this hallowed ground. Some were wounded and others died here, but never had occasion to make any official record of their service. Research and proof of record of service have been found in Revolutionary War pensions, statements, military service records, land grant records, and National Archives, Washington, D.C. Wilkes County Regiments, Georgia Militia, 140 men. Upper 96 Regiment, South Carolina, 200 men. From the Auditor Account Books of 1778 to 1780, South Carolina Department of Archives and History, and it tells us of all the people that had fought here, and it gives them by name. I'm going to walk over here and get this monument. Of this battle. It says the Battle of the American Revolution, in which the British were severely defeated, checked their invasion of Georgia. It says the victorious American forces were commanded by Colonel Andrew Pickens, Colonel Elijah Clark, and Colonel John Dooley. On this hill, the 14th day of February, 1779, the Battle of Kettle Creek was fought. This was erected by the United States government upon the request of the Kettle Creek Chapter, Daughters of the American Revolution, 1930. So this park has been out here ever since 1930. And folks, this is where the battle on this hill took place. The Battle of Kettle Creek. Folks, if you have enjoyed this video, hit the like button down below. I have enjoyed making this video. I learned a little bit about the history of Georgia today that I didn't even know. I've heard of this battlefield, but this is the first time me visited this battlefield. Okay, folks, well, this is Bubba signing off, saying please subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Jewish Redneck Prepper. Until the next time, this is Bubba saying shalom and enjoy the journey.